Right now at 6, Freeman Health System has a new CEO ready to start.
And speaking of starting, we are starting very cold outside right now, and it will not be very warm later today. Look at that forecast to get you out the doors. Coming up.
Plus, community members had the chance to take photos with Santa Claus while supporting a good cause.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Monday, the 2nd of December. So, what is that, 22 days until... 23 days until Christmas.
Yes.
Math was never my friend.
Christmas starts on Christmas Eve for me because you got to celebrate that too. A family tradition of mine is to always open up one present.
Same.
There we go.
Same.
See,
even
so
when I was a kid, it is 22 days because you always get to open one small gift
a little guy,
on Christmas Eve, and then you can open the rest on Christmas Day. Well, it's going to certainly feel like Christmas outside. It certainly does now, as it is pretty cold. Let's start with that look outside. From our camera in downtown Pittsburgh, take a look. It looks great, doesn't it? Doesn't feel great, but it looks great. Skies are clear. MoDOT camera, 20th and... I did it again. Sorry, if you're just joining us, we're having issues with the camera over here for our green screen. And I told myself mentally, don't go over there, but it is pure instinct that I walk over there. Anyway, looks good from MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line. Taking a look at the fog tracker, we have got some patchy fog across the entire region. Now, Pittsburgh still with the lowest visibility, it looks like it, just over 4 miles rather. Grove coming in behind that. So again, low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you have them. And remember, it is better to be a few minutes late than not arrive at all. Into the afternoon, even by late morning, winds increasing out of the north, and they'll be gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. Although Future Track is painting some clouds this afternoon, I do think we're going to have clear skies out there. Regardless, though, it's going to be cold, and you top on the wind with all that, and it's going to feel even colder. Late evening and overnight, though, even though it's going to be even colder tonight, the winds at least will calm down a bit, so it won't feel as bad. 27 in Joplin right now, say at 23 in Pittsburgh, and across the area, temperatures look like this. We've got low, mid, and upper 20s right now. Fort Scott taking the cake as the cold spot at 21 degrees. As we get this day underway. So kids, you're going back to school, probably waking up going, oh yeah, that's right, it's Monday, there's no holiday right now, I have to go back, and you're going to have to bundle up. We're talking upper 20s, some patchy fog out there, at least some calm winds or light and variable. Winds start increasing again by late morning into the afternoon, and only about 40 when the bus brings the kids home with plentiful sunshine, however. We'll have clear skies through the day, and most of us should at least briefly reach highs in the low 40s. Some of us may only make the upper 30s, and temperatures falling off as we head through the evening, down to about freezing by 6. That's a quick check of your forecast. We're going to talk more about the cold weather, the warm weather, and everything that's happening in between here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon, Chris. Thanks. Well, Joplin first responders were alerted to a house fire Sunday evening. The fire was located on South Byers Avenue. Neighbors reported seeing activity in the house recently. As firefighters searched the premises, a woman climbed out of the upstairs window and almost landed in the arms of a firefighter. The woman stated that she had been sleeping in a closet. Its ambulance transported her to an area hospital for treatment. Deputy Fire Chief Andy Nimmo tells us he has contacted the Joplin Fire Marshal to respond to the investigation. Well, multiple agencies responded to a 2-alarm house fire in Newton County Saturday morning. Around 6:30 Saturday morning, an off-duty firefighter saw flames and smoke from a residence off Crane Drive in Newton County. Reddings Mill Fire Newton County deputies responded along with mutual aid from Joplin, Quapaw, and Galena Fire. A report stated the residents had flames through the roof. The residents were not home at the time of the fire, and no firefighters were injured battling the blaze. Around 10 Saturday morning, a serious head-on crash occurred on East 32nd and Rainmiller Road in Joplin. Police say speed was a factor and one car was struck while turning. It then overturned down an embankment. Firefighters had to use the jaws of life to free the injured passenger. All 3 people involved in the crash were transported to Joplin hospitals. All suffered serious injuries. East 32nd was closed a little over an hour for crash investigation and removal of the vehicles and debris. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, Freeman Health System has a new president and chief executive officer effective yesterday. Now, Tom Keller succeeds Paula Baker, who served as Freeman's president and CEO for the past 13 years. Baker announced her retirement earlier this year. In a release, Baker said she was, quote, excited about Keller's appointment and looked forward to working with him through the transition period. Keller was formerly the president and CEO of the West Plains, Missouri-based Ozarks Healthcare. He has held that position since 2014. A press release announced Keller's new role at Freeman in September of this year. Well, Santa made a stop in Neodesha, where he helped support a local organization that takes in foster kids needing placements. Santa Claus told us why it's important to bring Christmas cheer to small towns and help local organizations.
A lot of these small venues doesn't get very much support, so anytime I can come out and support them and we can get the community's support really helps out.
Hot chocolate and cookies were available for anyone who attended. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The social media app TikTok is rolling out new restrictions on appearance effects for teens. Plus, President Biden pardoned his son Hunter, who is facing a possible prison sentence for federal felony gun and tax convictions. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Monday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from downtown Pittsburgh ahead of their annual Christmas parade. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning, a major shakeup in the auto industry. Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares announced on Sunday he is resigning. Now, Tavares has been under fire for months over the company's disappointing sales and disagreements he had with the company's board of directors. The United Auto Workers also called for Tavares' ouster. Now, Stellantis makes Chrysler, Jeep, Fiat, and Peugeot, among other brands. Now, an interim executive committee will run the company while Stellantis looks for a new CEO. That search is expected to be completed by the middle of next year. Well, TikTok is rolling out changes that will affect teens who use the social media app. In the coming weeks, the company will begin restricting the use of some appearance effects for users under the age of 18. Now, it comes after concerns were raised by teens and parents in a new study. The restrictions will apply to some effects that alter someone's appearance but may be hard to detect, like beauty filters. However, this will not apply to obvious or funny effects like animal ears. TikTok says it will also provide more information about how an effect will change someone's appearance if it's applied. The company says it already proactively lets users know when certain effects have been used. President Biden yesterday pardoned his son Hunter. The move saves the younger Biden from a possible prison sentence for federal felony gun and tax convictions. President Biden previously said he would not pardon his son or commute his sentence after convictions in the cases. Naomi Ruckham reports from New York.
As President Biden took off for a 3-day visit to Angola, he made his first public appearance after granting a full and unconditional pardon to his son, Hunter. In a statement released Sunday night, Biden said in part, quote, "I believe in the justice system, but as I have wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process, and it led to a miscarriage of justice." The move comes in the final weeks of Biden's presidency and after he and his advisors repeatedly denied he would pardon his son.
I am satisfied that I'm not going to do anything. I said I abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Hunter Biden was convicted of 3 felonies in June in connection with a gun purchase in Delaware. In addition, he pleaded guilty to 9 counts of federal tax fraud in a separate case in California. Before the pardon was announced, Hunter Biden was weeks from receiving his punishment. In Sunday's statement, President Biden also said from the day he took office, he would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision-making and said he kept his word even as he watched his son being unfairly prosecuted. Biden said, quote, Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and said there has been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Hunter Biden faced up to 42 years in prison for his convictions. He released his own statement saying he has admitted to and taken responsibility for his mistakes during the darkest days of addiction and squandered many opportunities and advantages. He said he will never take the clemency he has been given for granted and will devote the life he's rebuilt to helping those who are sick and suffering. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got clear skies and cold conditions out there. Some patchy fog being reported across the area as well. We'll have another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
The Catholic Action Center in Lexington is working to help the homeless population as temperatures continue to drop. Granson Passmore has the story.
I'll be out every day, so you see me, you yell.
As we prepare for the coldest nights we've faced this season, Brother Thomas Connell heads out to help those who will need it most.
When you pull up and they say Brother Thomas, then you know they know us and they come to us, so you know they're not afraid to come to us no more. So they help one another, we try to help them. If we can get them through this night, then we're going to try to help them get through the next night.
The city of Lexington provides around 90 motel rooms for those who are unhoused. But Brother Thomas says there are about 400 on a waiting list still.
So we got hand warmers, socks, gloves, toboggans, jackets, sleeping bags. So we're just going around finding them and giving it to them, so they was glad. They're like, oh, Brother Thomas.
The Catholic Action Center's Compassionate Caravan is stocked full of donated supplies. The team fed 600 people on Thanksgiving night, and they'll continue to head out with food and clothes every night this week.
So just pray for us that, we can find everybody, because if we don't, somebody might not make it.
The clothes and supplies themselves can be life-saving.
Lord, come be with him, Lord. Listen to what he's asking for right now.
But what Brother Thomas does can change lives.
In the name of Jesus. Amen.
He offers a listening ear and
gloves?
the glove off of his helping hand.
Here, take these. Put these gloves on here.
And with the community working together,
We're going to make it through winter, all right?
Certainly an incredible story there. Now let's check in with Chris for a quick look at the forecast.
Yeah, we got some patchy fog across the area. Otherwise, clear skies and cold temperatures. We're going to have another full look at your forecast right after this on the KOAM Morning News. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 6:20 on this Monday morning. We're going to start here with the fog tracker. As you can see, still patchy fog across the entire region. Pittsburgh and Grove, the most significantly reduced visibilities. Pittsburgh just over 4 miles, Grove just under 5. But either way, you still want to make sure you slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. And of course, give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. It's always better to be a few minutes late than not arrive at all. Into the afternoon we go. We're going to have gusty north winds out there, and temperatures are not going to be very warm, and they're going to get even colder tonight with clear skies, but thankfully the winds will ease up overnight. But you can see we're dropping back into the low 20s and even the upper teens. So definitely a cold night ahead of us. Now Tuesday, winds will shift out of the southwest at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So we'll be just a few degrees warmer across the area. Not significantly so, but still at least a little bit better out there. We'll start even better by Wednesday morning at 5 a.m. upper 30s to near 40 degrees. Winds will increase again. We'll go partly cloudy for our Wednesday afternoon, and we will be warmer. Temperatures starting to push into the upper 50s. By Wednesday late afternoon and into the evening. Right now, though, not in the upper 50s at all, not even close. We're sitting at 27 in Joplin, south-southeast breeze at 3 with clear skies. Across the area, light variable winds or even calm in some cases. We've got low, mid, and upper 20s as we get this day started as well. With Fort Scott right now, The cold spot at 22. It looks like the warmer locations in the 27 range. It's Carthage, Neosho, and Cassville. As we head through the morning, we'll be starting in the upper 20s. Patchy fog continues through 9 a.m. at the latest. We'll otherwise have clear skies, upper 30s by 11 o'clock this morning. Again, highs for most of us should at least briefly reach the low 40s. Others may only be into the upper 30s with those gusty north winds. Clear skies through the evening, mid 20s by 10, low 20s overnight. Again, maybe some upper teens. And then we were talking about it. It's this roller coaster ride. This is our 5th straight week of these up and down temperatures as we go over the next several days. So we're starting low here. We go up just a little bit. We'll be up even more by Wednesday. Then we take a dive right back down. We start coming back up as we go into Sunday. Then we take a slight dive, then a bigger one. And it's just been like this for the last several weeks. We just can't seem to find a temperature pattern. So we are dry through at least Saturday morning, maybe a few isolated showers out there. Near 60 on Sunday. And yes, Tuesday, possibly a morning wintry mix. Still several days away, still a lot of factors in play, but just kind of your early heads up. It's something that we'll keep an eye on for you. Otherwise, again, just sit back and enjoy the ride until at some point, we'll settle into some more steady temperatures. Let's check your forecast. We're going to toss it over to Lisa now with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, Canadian researchers say lung cancer screenings find coronary artery disease in more than 80% of cases. The CT scans can identify coronary artery calcium, which is a strong risk factor for coronary artery disease, even in patients without cardiac symptoms. In almost 1,500 screenings from a pilot program in 2017 and 18, high levels of the calcium were found in 30% of patients. Well, a Harvard research team finds exposure to fine particulate air pollution was associated with higher levels of inflammation among pregnant women, possibly leading to adverse birth outcomes. Now, the study's authors say the data shows air pollution exposure in pregnant women should be minimized. And research out of Spain shows bacteria may modify its molecular structures when exposed to widely used antibiotics, enough to develop resistance to the drugs. Further research is needed to explore the issue to determine what can be done to stop it from happening. If you're feeling unmotivated to hit the gym lately, this story may change that. Marielle Mose has the story of one woman who proves it's never too late to get strong.
Big belly breath, and
this cross-generational pairing lift each other up.
And whenever we train, it just makes my day.
I picked the right person. I really did.
85-year-old Ronnie Leightonen picked Karina Waite to be her personal trainer at Lifetime Edina for one specific reason.
I liked Karina's because it included being interested in elderly people. And I thought that would be me.
Karina feels the draw to this generation too.
My parents adopted my twin brother and I when they were in their 40s. So I already had older parents. So seeing them like as I age and they age, and just kind of, that was a big part. Like, how can I help them age so they can stay around longer for my life? So I'm just gonna apply resistance. I want you to do a curl.
Ronnie comes to Karina for knowledge, to learn how to properly strength train, determined to stop a common cause of aging.
I was diagnosed with osteoporosis, which really made me mad because I thought I was doing all the right things. I was exercising and I was, eating right, but after menopause, it's very common.
Lifting weights specifically helps strengthen bones, and in Ronnie's case, slow down her chronic disease.
Putting impact on the bone can help the bone repair.
She's testing the limits of that impact.
Done. You just PR'd.
Lifting a personal best while the cameras were rolling.
I really understand what they're doing is keeping us healthy enough we're not using the doctors in the hospital as much.
Building up her muscles has become Ronnie's new medicine. Marielle Mose, CBS News.
Now, if you're 65 and older, like Ronnie, you're eligible for Medicare's Silver Sneakers program, which can give you free access to several gyms across the country, but it does cost money to have a personal trainer. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, residents in Pittsburgh come together for a tree lighting ceremony.
And we've got a cold start to the day out there. It will eventually warm up slightly, but not by much. Take a look at that forecast. Get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the CPKC holiday train hits the 4 states, making donations to local food banks.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:29. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. It's Monday, December the 2nd. And so we are now officially into the holiday season. It's now, at least in my book, okay for Christmas music. Really, you can start,
I think, more than okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Black Friday.
Black Friday, I think, is the time because you're doing Christmas shopping. At least 98% of the people are doing Christmas shopping on Black Friday. So
put
it's only
up the lights,
appropriate.
play the music, bake the cookies. It's time.
I don't know about baking the cookies yet.
No?
They're gonna get stale and hard before Christmas.
No, Chris. You can eat cookies all month long.
Well, you can eat cookies all year round.
But Christmas cookies specifically.
All
just
right.
keep baking
Maybe.
them. Don't
just
stop.
keep doing
Don't
it. Okay.
stop.
I got you. So it's Christmas cookie season in Elise Noe's home.
Yes.
All right. And it is, honestly, it's going to start to really feel like Christmas, at least today. It's pretty cold out there now and will not be very warm later. Let's take a quick look outside downtown Pittsburgh. And you can see the skies are clear, starting to get a little more daylight over there across the region this morning. We do have some patchy fog. MoDOT camera 20th and range line also looking fairly good this morning as well. We haven't really seen much in terms of fog on the camera networks, but you can see on the fog tracker, we do have patchy fog across the entire region. So make sure you slow down, use your low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you have them, and remember, it's better be a few minutes late than not arrive at all. Into the afternoon we go. By late morning, winds will start increasing out of the north, gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. So despite all the sunshine we're expecting, it is not going to really feel all that warm whatsoever. And you can see we're already back to the mid-20s by 8. But later this evening, by late evening, those winds will begin to ease up. We're sitting at 27 in Joplin, 25 in Pittsburgh, and across the area, temperatures again are cold. We're in the low, mid, and upper 20s as we get this day underway. Kids probably heading back to school today. You got to remind them, maybe even remind yourself, they've got to go back. We're going to be in the upper 20s when the bus picks them up. Calm or light and variable winds with that patchy fog out there. By this afternoon, bus brings them home, maybe about 40, and those north winds gusting to 25 with sunny skies. Clear skies, the trend for us today. Again, most of us should at least briefly make the low 40s for highs. Others may only make the upper 30s, but again, with the wind, it's not really going to matter. We're going to feel like the 30s all day long. It's going to be even colder tonight, and then this roller coaster ride that we keep talking about, man, it continues as we start to warm up over the next couple of days. We'll have a full look at your forecast and talk about these wild temperatures here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. The free concert in Carthage yesterday hoped to help get the community into the Christmas spirit. The Hometown Country Christmas concert event was an evening of Southern gospel and bluegrass music. Musicians included the Parks family, the Johnson family, and the Goulds. The event was free and open to the public, but attendees were welcome to leave a love offering. Well, the Neosho Fish Hatchery hosted its 3rd annual tree trimming open house. The hatchery's Christmas tree doesn't have ornaments, so they allow the community to come in and make fish-themed ones. Many of the ornaments are based on fish that the hatchery holds, like the pallid sturgeon, rainbow trout, and more.
So they're doing some paper crafts, some origami. We've got little wooden fish that they're decorating and making into ornaments. There's beaded ornaments. They're also decorating fish cars, the fish rail cars, because we are doing a fundraiser where we're trying to get our own fish rail car.
The tree trimming also marks the first donation drive for a fish rail car exhibit for the hatchery. Now their goal is a $150,000. Well, Shop Gerard kicked off Friday, November 29th. The owner of Chicken Annie's looks forward to seeing the influx of people supporting local businesses like hers. Now, during this time, shoppers get a sticker for every $10 they spend at participating businesses in Girard. Whenever your card is filled with stickers, you can bring it to the Chamber of Commerce for a chance to win $500. This is meant to encourage people to shop at local small businesses.
It means a lot for the small businesses anyway, to keep them going. You have so many expenses and it just gets you in the door.
Shop Girard will run until December 21st. And with Thanksgiving over, many people are getting into the Christmas spirit, and that includes in Pittsburgh, where the community came together for a tree lighting ceremony. KOAM's very own Dow Quick was the master of ceremonies for the lighting, and it also included performances from St. Mary's Colgan Elementary School Choir, Pittsburgh State's Hispanic Banda, and BTC Dance and Athletics. Community members say the lighting is a great way to get into the holiday spirit.
The Pittsburgh community deserves to have a community Christmas tree and an opportunity to gather around and have a shared experience and something that gathers people downtown for the holidays.
The 20-foot tree will remain lit outside Pritchett Pavilion throughout the holiday season for everyone to enjoy. Well, December is finally here and the bells are ringing, the kids are singing, and of course, there's presents for everyone. But for some, the holiday magic isn't complete without a Christmas tree. We went to Mill Dam Christmas Tree Farm in Fredonia to get shoppers' experiences.
We're just really excited. The trees are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. We love them.
My daughter's first real Christmas tree. We've gotten our tree here for I think the last 3 years, and just getting a real tree for Christmas makes it really special.
Many shoppers we spoke with say buying a real Christmas tree helps them get in the mood for Christmas more, while others say it's just a family tradition. The CPKC Railroad Holiday Train returned to the area again this year to support local food banks. Since 1999, CPKC and its employees have donated more than $20 million to towns and communities that lie along their tracks. Now, this year, the colorful train stopped in Pittsburgh and Joplin. 2 musical artists entertained the crowd, and a check was presented to the Wesley House for $6,000. It was a free event, but those attending were encouraged to bring non-perishable food items for donation. Then a short jaunt south into Missouri Joplin's Union Depot was the backdrop of the Salvation Army accepted a check for $4,000. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Well, today is Cyber Monday, and we'll have some tips on how you can avoid being scammed when it comes to online purchases. Plus, we have a cold and breezy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from downtown Pittsburgh ahead of their annual Christmas parade.
All right, time for some Monday birthdays here in the 4 states. We're going to start in Carthage with Lori Borland celebrating birthday number 55. Happy birthday.
And heading over to Pittsburgh, a happy birthday to Frank Meister, turning 65 today. Says happy birthday from your loving wife and family.
And we've got Nash Westoff celebrating birthday number 2 in Savenberg. And it says here, happy birthday with love from Mom, Dad, and Owen. Now, I feel like either something's not right with our email system or we have somehow offended the 4 states because this is like the 3rd day in the last week where we've only had a couple of birthdays. We want to celebrate them.
Yes, we do.
It's sad when we don't.
Absolutely, and you can do so. You can celebrate with us by submitting your birthdays and those anniversaries to birthdays at KOAMnewsnow.com. When you're submitting, be sure to include those wonderful photos, messages to meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen. That's important. And to also include the date of your celebration when submitting as well.
Certainly important. Now, I know that's a lot of information to throw into an email, but really, It's still worth it because you get to celebrate with us and you get to celebrate your loved ones on air with us Monday through Friday in the KOAM Morning News. Who wouldn't want to do that? Exactly. Nobody wouldn't want to not do that. All right, it's we're dealing with some patchy fog and we're dealing with some somewhat cold air out there as well. Not somewhat, it is straight up cold out there. Quick tour around the area. Now, taking a look at the downtown Pittsburgh camera, got to point it back east. You can see there is some patchy fog. Thankfully, it's not been overly dense this morning. Our camera at 7th and Range Line looks beautiful so far. Got a great sunrise out there, and as we head to the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, not seeing much in the way of fog from the MoDOT camera there on 20th Street. But if we head over to 32nd Street, it could be the lens might be a little dirty, but it does look like there's at least some patchy fog maybe on the south end of town near 32nd Street. Here's a look at the fog tracker across the region. Again, it's not overly dense, and we do not have any dense fog advisories out there, but as we've mentioned, and I know I say it 100 times a day when we have foggy conditions, but I'll tell you right now, it must be working because we do not commonly cover fog-related crashes, which means you find folks at home are listening, so that's the important thing. Slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going. Low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you have them, and remember, it's better to be a few minutes late than not arrive at all. All right, into the afternoon we go. Looking at clear skies, Future Track is painting maybe a couple of clouds, and looking at the latest data from the Skywatch Storm Tracker on the satellite imagery, that might be possible, but I do believe most of us should have clear skies. By late morning, though, winds increase out of the north, gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour, so it's going to feel even colder out there. We'll feel like we're in the 30s for most of the day. Going into tonight, thankfully, again, the winds will be calm, but it will be even colder. Most of us low 20s, but take a look. Some upper teens, absolutely possible. Now, Tuesday, winds will start to shift out of the south. Not overly breezy, but about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And that will allow us to be just a few degrees warmer for Tuesday. But that southerly wind continues overnight into Wednesday, and that will end up maintaining some somewhat warmer temperatures. We're starting Wednesday, upper 30s to near 40. And as we head into the afternoon and early evening hours on our Wednesday, we're looking at temperatures pushing a little closer to 60 degrees with partly cloudy skies on Wednesday, sunny skies again tomorrow. Right now, though, again, a great view of that sunrise, 7th and Range Line. It's 27 in Joplin. The wind is south-southeast at 3. Across the area, we have light and variable winds, and we are all still sitting low 20s, mid 20s, and upper 20s. We've got Fort Scott as the cold spot, sitting at 21 right now. Through the morning, patchy fog continues through about, say, 8, 9 a.m. at the latest. Otherwise, we'll have those clear skies, and we'll eventually make the upper 30s by 11 a.m. So still not a lot of warming taking place. We're going to have one more look at your forecast as well as the news you need to know here in just a moment. And when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., a Denver jewelry is creating custom pieces inspired by his clients for the Christmas season.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Around 10 Saturday morning, a serious head-on crash occurred on East 32nd and Rainmiller Road in Joplin. Police say speed was a factor. One car was struck while turning and then overturned down an embankment. All 3 people involved in the crash were transported to Joplin hospitals with serious injuries. Multiple agencies responded to a 2-alarm house fire in Newton County Saturday morning. An off-duty firefighter saw flames and smoke from a residence off Crane Drive in Newton County. Reports stated the residence had flames through the roof, and residents were not home at the time of the fire. Tom Keller succeeds Paula Baker as the new president and CEO of Freeman Health Systems effective yesterday. Baker announced her retirement earlier this year, and in a release, Baker said she was, quote, excited about Keller's appointment and looked forward to working with him through the transition period. Keller was formerly the president and CEO of the West Plains, Missouri-based Ozarks Healthcare. And that's a look of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door, bundle up. It is cold and it will not be very warm today. Most of us should at least briefly make the low 40s. Others may only make the upper 30s for highs. Sunny skies and north winds gusting upwards of 25 will make it feel cold no matter what your temperature is. Winds will ease up by late evening. We're still clear and into the mid 20s by 10. Overnight lows into the low 20s, but some upper teens will be possible. And again, the winds will be calm. We'll have a southwest breeze 5 to 10 tomorrow, making us a couple of degrees warmer as we go to mid 40s, upper 50s on Wednesday, low 40s again on Thursday, upper 40s Friday, maybe a few morning showers on Saturday, and then upper 50s, near 60 by Sunday. Then temperatures fall again, and of course next Tuesday, obviously still several days away, but at least right now, the possibility of maybe a light wintry mix Tuesday morning, so something we will certainly keep an eye on. The one key point there, the consistency there, is the roller coaster ride. It's just up and down and up and down.
For weeks.
Yeah, this is, I think, the 5th week now in a row where we just can't settle into a steady pattern of temperatures.
All righty. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making red velvet pancakes in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Does the trash we throw in recycle bins actually get recycled? Well, coming up on CBS Mornings, they followed plastic cups from Starbucks, and you might be surprised as to what they found.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll see how a town in California is stepping up to create its own winter wonderland.
Plus, Joshua McLeod is in the studio to share how you can participate in this year's Match Day event. However, that's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.